5、4、3、2。Good afternoon, everyone. I'm reporter Huiao from CGTN, and over the next half an hour, I'll take you all on the journey through one of the most pretty and beautiful snow towns in China, which is celebrated as the hometown of snow in China. So this place we're at right now is the Plank Road of Snow Town, and Snow Town, as we told you, it's known as Xuexiang in Chinese, and it was formerly known as the Shuangfeng Forest Farm. And just give you a brief introduction in terms of where we are, the location. It's actually located in Heilongjiang City, and we're at an elevation of 1,500 meters. And this place is about 300 kilometers away from Harbin City, which is the capital city of Heilongjiang province. So 2 days ago, we drove from the main train station of the Harbin station to here, and took us about 5.5 hours. And it could be even worse, especially during this time of the year when there's heavy snow pretty much all the time, and sometimes the road is blocked, and you have to, it can get really congested. And there's 3 ways of entering the snow town. And right now at this place, you don't see many travelers, mainly because of the weather. As we've been here for a couple of days, we sort of observed that the weather here is very unpredictable. So sometimes, for example, this morning, it was all very cloudy and sunny, and the sky was totally clear. And then all of a sudden, like right now, it's snowing mildly, and I think that's why a lot of people are probably staying at their hotel and waiting for the weather to get better. So you can see that it's all white and covered in snow with a lot of guest houses. There are actually around 130 guest houses here at the snow town. And the snow town is actually celebrated as the hometown of snow in China, not because it gets more snow than elsewhere in the country, but mostly that it has a very unique snowscape. And in just about 2 minutes, we'll arrive at this viewing deck to show you some of the best sceneries available here in the snow town. So the snow period in general, it lasts 7 months. So from late October to next March. And right now it's pretty much the perfect month to visit the snow town. And especially during this time of the year, it's not that crowded before the Chinese New Year. And later on, it will get even more and more crowded. And the average snowfall here in the snow town reaches about 2 meters. So it's known for the thickness as well as the high density. So we'll keep walking. You can see that this is a very beautiful area. A lot of trees covered in snow with all different kinds of trees. So a lot of travelers, they're wearing, everyone is super bundled up because it is between minus 10 and minus 20 degrees. Very cold conditions. They actually built this plank road just for tourists and photographers because, to get a bird's eye view of the entire town, this is the best place to see those. So we're about to arrive at the first viewing deck. That's the scenery we've been talking about, this unique snowscape at the snow town. You can see that there are, as we told you, there are about 138 guest houses in the entire village, and they're all covered in thick and heavy snow, and they're sort of connected together, taking various kinds of shapes, such as huge rabbits, and some look like eggs, and some look like mushrooms. And some look like running horses. And from afar, there's actually a slope for skiing lovers. They actually ski in the nearby mountains. And over there, you can see that the smoke is curling up in the kitchen chimneys. So all very picturesque, a perfect place for photographers. They call it the photographer paradise. So some of the snow actually hangs from the roof to the ground, and many people hail it as the snow curtains. Yesterday we met this owner of the guest house who is a local here, has been living in this place since she was born, and she said like the biggest difference she observed from 30 years ago is that the snow is not nearly as heavy as before. And the reason is very obvious. You have more visitors coming and you have the global warming, but she did mention that the business has been drastically different. She opened this guest house 20 years ago and there were barely nobody, and now it's all booked up. So you can imagine that the snow town has gained so much fame and so much recognition, both like domestically and internationally. So you have there are a lot of different destinations to see snow. For example, not even like in Heilongjiang, but for example, like elsewhere in Northeast, as well as people, pay a very high price and fly to Hokkaido or Switzerland or Northern Europe to see snow sceneries. But here, once again, this is known as the paradise of snow in China because the density of the snow is different from elsewhere. So a very unique scene that they look like ice cream. Some people say it looks like milk cream, that they just lie there thickly and don't melt until March and April. So we'll keep walking. The snow town actually comes to be known thanks to some internationally prize-winning photographs. So one Chinese photographer brought these photos internationally, and people were wondering, where is this place? It looks so pretty and mysterious, and people were searching for this utopian snow town, and they found out that it's located in Heilongjiang City. And later, after the 2000s, this place gets more famous because a lot of the TV shows and TV dramas as well as reality shows were filmed here. And nowadays, it becomes one of the two winter destinations in Heilongjiang. The other is Yabuli, which is the snow resort where you can do all the skiing, snowmobiling, all the snow activities. But here, if you want to enjoy the scenery per se, then this is the place. For example, we've been encountering a lot of tour groups as well as, tourists from Hong Kong, Macau, southern cities in China. They say, they travel far, hours of flights, and arrived in Harbin and then drove hours like us to this place. But it's so totally worth it because they think they've never seen such thick snow like in their entire life. This is just a parallel compared to other snowy areas. And most people actually stay for just 1 or 2 nights. They would arrive around this time of the day, around 3 p.m., check into the hotel, then have some, local cuisine like the northeastern food, as well as enjoy the night view. So people are wondering, what does it look like at night? It's a completely different scene. Some say actually it's prettier. And then the next day morning, they'll take some stroll, and sometimes they will want to catch the sunrise of this place. And then after a while, they'll head back to where they come from. So we rarely have customers actually, staying here longer than 3 nights. And in average, this town handles about 10,000 visitors per day, but right now it's only about 5,000 per day, mostly due to the Spring Festival, because in Chinese culture, most people are used to, spending it with their family at home. But maybe, after the Chinese New Year's Eve, especially from the 18th to the 20th, it will get more hectic. So we are arriving at the second viewing deck. You can see some people are taking photos. 哎，您好，我们是那个中央电视台的，我们在做这个雪乡节目，想采访您，就是您是从哪儿过来的？
哈尔滨。
哈尔滨 ，OK，he's from 哈尔滨，您是哈尔滨人？
是在哈尔滨工作。
在哈尔滨工作啊，那过来大概怎么过来？就是开车过来。
开车过来。
也是准备待几天？
待2天。
待2天就走？为什么不多待一会儿？
待2天就不少了，
就不少。
家离得近，
总
能来。
行，谢谢。So this guy we talked to is actually works in Harbin City, and he drove hours to this place and plans to stay here for two days. And he says it's plenty because there's really not much going on besides taking photos and doing some of the snow activities like we told you, like skiing and stuff. So once again, it's you just look at it, how thick the snow is. And you might think that it's only pretty during the day, it'll get completely dark in the night. That's totally not the case, I can guarantee you. So if you come at the night, you'll see that those big red lanterns hanging up in front of each house will lighting up the entire village and turn it into a colorful world. So it'll be like purple and yellow, very, very pretty. It's indeed a colorful wonderland, like a fairy tale place. And besides the scenery, there's actually a lot of things going on at night as well. For example, the float parade, as well as things like bonfire party. That's always the highlight of the day. People sing and dance around the fire. And there's even fireworks. So within this village, they don't allow any fireworks because they worry that the leftover of the chemicals will sort of make the snow look dirty. But outside, maybe like a couple hundred meters away, they actually have fireworks every night. So especially during this time, it's all very festive and everyone is in the celebration mood. So we'll walk downstairs the plank and walk you to the main road of this place. You can call it the main street. So it's actually not that big in terms of the size of this town. From one end of the street to the other, it's only about a 10 to 15-minute walk. So totally walkable, no vehicles are observed, and just a fun, nice place to be around. You can see people are over there, posting pictures. A lot of photographers come here. A lot of kids as well. And my impression of this place is it's actually very well protected. You can see that the snow is maintaining its own shape, not much impact of tourists. So we see a kid here. 哎，小朋友你好，想问问你是从哪儿过来的？哪里人？牡丹江。Okay, she's from 牡丹江, which is also not far from here. 你们打算来多少天？
玩一天。
就玩一天啊？觉得漂亮吗？这儿？
漂亮。
漂亮。以前没有来过。
没有。
谢谢。So, for example, she's from Heilongjiang and she's with her dad. They're traveling here also on the day, and she says it's all very pretty. She's never seen it before. So we'll keep walking to the main street. You can see a lot of like food stands as well as like dork slags. So, for example, I tried the dork slag yesterday. It's actually super fun. It's a little bit pricey, 100 yuan per person, but totally worth it. And it's extra festive because we are approaching the year of the dog, so which makes it the perfect activity. There are some like corns hanging on the house as well, a lot of woods. Most of the locals have actually moved away from this town. They're renting their apartments and like local guest houses out. So they're operated by people from other towns, and it makes a good business because now it's so famous that everyone comes here during the winter time. They actually make a good fortune, and during the rest of the year they can rest. They can, maybe like work in another city for a couple months, farming lands, etc. So this is how it works. It's totally a travel destination nowadays. And you see people wearing like really heavy, like big hats and stuff like fur hats, because it is really cold. Not as cold as Harbin, like we've been to the ice and snow world. It's actually even colder, but still, you gotta bundle up and wear enough like clothes and warm clothing to endure the cold weather. And also, you've got to find ways to keep your phones warm, because your battery can die like within seconds. So this is the main street, very crowded. A lot of people playing with snow here. Just look at how many people are walking on this street. And here they're selling some of the local fruits, I guess. That is the plum, the sweet and sour plum. Frozen pears, things that northeastern people love. As well as ice cream. This is actually a milk flavored, vanilla flavored ice cream that is really famous in northeast China. Let's keep walking. And on this street, there are actually a lot of eateries as well. So, for example, like hot pot place, as well as you can get dumplings, you can get all the Chinese food, a lot of options here. But the prices do hike up during this time of the year. And this is what I want to mention, that as crowded as it seems, the business has been less busy than the previous years, mainly because of this scandal that broke out last month. So a WeChat post on China's social media went viral online. Basically, this tourist whose name was unidentified, she posted something online saying that she was ripped off by one of the owners of the guest houses, and she booked a triple room for 2 nights, but on the second night she was told to leave because the hotel has other plans, and they were forced to leave at the end, and the owner got into trouble later, and he was fined for 59,000 yuan. So that scandal went viral. It was huge online. People were casting a lot of doubts and skepticism about this place. But from everything we've observed so far, prices are reasonable, and most of the stuff are not like ridiculously pricey, and you can tell that people are having a good time. Everything is marked up in the tourist center. I don't know if you can hear the folk music. You can get the vibe of the festival is coming. You got kids sledding on that thing. So yeah, back to what we were saying. After that, the scandal was broke out. Basically, the local authorities have launched a thorough investigation, and they promised that they are going to carry out more strict measures to and not only investigate but also to regulate this village, making sure that the customers and tourists here are not ripped off. So far we've been talking to a lot of guests and like locals, tourists, and they say so far so good. They haven't encountered any unhappy experience.
尝一尝品品味儿，各种各样的老冰棍啊，芒果、山楂、哈密瓜、花生、草莓、巧克力，马迭尔不差味儿，牛奶味儿啊，阿尔卑斯也不差味儿，来尝一尝看一看。
So a lot of flavors for ice cream too. You've got the chocolate, mango, strawberry, as well as they call it the Alps flavor. I don't know what that is. As well as like honeydew and like milk flavor. So ice cream. Can you imagine eating ice cream during winter? But if you're planning for coming, you do have to be prepared not just for the cold weather, but also that the rooms are not that many here. You got to book in advance, like on the websites of the hotels. There aren't that many hotels. Like as far as I remember, there's only one or two, and most of them are guest houses. So they cook breakfast for you, they make lunch for you, and you basically share one room with your family members on a huge bed. But kind of fun too, because you'll stay cozy and warm together. Let's see if we can come across some of the dog sleds that we were talking about. One of the dogs was actually featured in one of the reality shows. We sort of rode on it and we went on this trip, and it was quite enjoyable. Oh, like in front of us, we see like a tour group that the tour guide is waving flags. So probably a day trip. So after some walk, it'll be really nice to have a sip of milk tea. That's what we did yesterday. It keeps your body warm because it does get really cold, especially like when the sun is out. After the sunset, it gets colder and colder. During the night, you gotta wear the scarves for sure, hats as well, just to keep your body warm. But as I told you, there's the bonfire party, so that's how you stay warm even outdoors. And that's about it. We've been walking on this street, and we showed you on the viewing deck. Oh, that's the dog sled we've been talking about. Go! So you see 3 huskies. I don't know if they are huskies or not. And cost 100 yuan per person. So you gotta watch your wallet whether you want to try that or not. But yeah, that's the snow town, the fairyland. People call it the Wonderland, one of the 2 main destinations you gotta check out when you visit Heilongjiang besides Harbin. So if you want to do more skiing, you could go to Yapoli. But if you want to see beautiful snow, like shaped snow, ice cream shaped snow, come here to the snow town. And I'm reporter Huiao from CGTN. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.